Welcome everybody to part 7 of the Pokemon Gold walkthrough as we are about ready to leave Azalea Town, but hang on a second, looks like our rival is going to be stopping us, asking if Team Rocket has returned, which they have, and the fact that we took them out, and now he's going to be challenging us into a battle just to see how strong we are. This is a fairly simple battle, depending on what level you are and how many Pokemon you have. It could go either way. If you've been grinding like I have, then it should be very easily battled. First, we have Ghastly here. Hypnosis, Lick, and Spite are the 3 moves that he knows. And because of the fact that Pidgey is indeed part normal, Lick will not be able to hit us. Yes, it does not matter if you are a dual type. If one of those types happens to be normal, then Ghost attacks will not hit you. However, because of the fact that he knows Hypnosis, he puts us to sleep, and with the kind of luck that I get, Sleep will last all the way. And because he's not able to hit us with Lick, instead he uses the move Spite, which what it does is it's either the last move you used or the move you're just about to use gets reduced in the amount of times you can use, and as you can see, he's going to town with it, because again, he can't use Lick, so it's kind of pointless for him to do anything else except for Spite. Like I said, this does take a little bit of a while because of the fact that, knowing my luck, Pidgey sleeps all the time. This part's going to be a little bit, it's not going to be terrible. Originally, I had planned to get all the way up to Goldenrod City until I found out that by doing so, it took me about a good 25 minutes to get there, so I cut the video in half. So in other words, you're going to be seeing the first half of the part. Of course, the next half will be coming over on Wednesday. It's about a good 10 minutes each, but I didn't want to have any of my viewers suffer through a whole 20-minute session going on. So now that Ghastly's been taken care of, now he's going to be bringing out Zubat. His Zubat has the moves Leech Life, Bite, and Supersonic. Again, not too complex, Bite, a little bit thrown in there. It is now a Dark-type move. I believe Bite was in the first generation. It was a normal-type move. But since they included Dark-type Pokemon into the second generation, they decided to convert Bite into a Dark-type move. One of the bigger things you need to worry about with Zubat here is the fact that it learned Supersonic. It's just as, BS as in the first generation. And, if your luck's as terrible as mine, you're going to be beating yourself constantly. Now he's going to be bringing out his last partner, Crocona, that's how you pronounce it, Crocona. Evolved from Totodile, he knows Scratch, Leer, Rage, and Water Gun, 3 normal-type moves and a Water-type move. Nothing too big, nothing really to worry about. The only thing is that he is level 16, and if you do not have a type advantage against him, then it's going to be a hard battle because of the fact that Crocona has a very high defense. Whether it's only physical, I know it's a really high physical defense, he might also have a very high special defense as well, but it is high enough that he can become a pain in the ass for your team if you do not have an advantage against him the way I do with Flaffy. So keep an eye on that. Crocona is his ace in the hole and can be a bit of a pain in the ass, but wasn't too much of one for me as we defeated him, and we are going to be moving on here. Now in this little sequence that we have here, and yes, I do realize that the audio is very laggy in this part. I apologize. I don't know. Again, it's out of my hands. Silver here talks about the fact that he hates Team Rocket, so in a sense, you can see some good in him. He's not evil like Team Rocket, he's just an asshole that thinks he's better than everyone else and just hates we Pokemon. Here I am checking Pidgey to see how much I lost as far as Gus goes. I'm down to 13 of 35. I'm checking my pack to see if I had grabbed any ethers in the past. However, I haven't, so I need to make a quick trip over to the Pokemon Center, get myself healed up. Before heading out, we're going to talk to good old Kurt here, because it's been about a good couple of days. So now, he's created the ball for us, a fastball. So now we have a lure ball and a fastball. Fastball are basically types of Pokeballs that I think it's either the ones that you throw immediately and they're better. You don't have to do any damage, you just throw it immediately, or they work against Pokemon that have a high speed stat. It's one of those two, and more than likely it's the one with the Pokemon that have the high speed stat. But welcome, we are now into Ilex Forest. It's either Ilex or Ilex. I believe it's Ilex. It sounds better that way. Anyways, 3 hidden items around here, and the whole entire place is like one giant cave, so you're going to be running into a lot of Pokemon, specifically Bug and Grass type, as we are now seeing with an Oddish here, our first look at it, and because of the fact that Pidgey is obviously Flying type, it's better against Bug and Grass type Pokemon, so we're going to be using Pidgey throughout this whole entire part. what we were doing is we're trying to get a Farfetch back. If you talk to the kid, like I didn't, but if you do go and talk to the kid, he'll talk about the fact that the Farfetch is away from him and that he's going to get in huge trouble with his boss. You are not able to move on Ilex Forest until you receive the move cut. The only way to get the move cut is by taking care of Farfetch'd over here, and then his boss will give you something, and then later on you'll get a charcoal. We'll be taking care of that in a bit. Second and final look at Zubat, and we run away from it because I don't really want to deal with the fact that he can confuse me using Supersonic. Anyways, nighttime in Ilex Forest, there's very rarities that we can run into. You run into a Paris every now and then. A majority of the time you're going to be running into Oddishes. And, as you can see, the egg has hatched as we have our little Togepi, which, of course, the only way I'm going to be using him is by teaching him the move Flash, so then I'm not wasting any HMs on some of my more main Pokemon. Anyways, going through the stats of Ilex Forest, Caterpie's gold and crystal versions only, 50% in the morning, 60% in the afternoon, obviously none at night. Crystal version, 30% morning, afternoon, again none at night. Silver version, Weedles, same exact stats for both of the games. Metapause and Kakunas, 30% in the morning in gold version, Kakunas in the silver version, 30% in the morning for them. Again, a little bit more, and you can't even get it in the afternoon, of course, only in the morning. Second look at Oddish, get a good look at it. Paris, both in gold and silver versions, 15% in the very early morning, and 15% at very late night and afternoon time, 5%. So obviously if you really want a Paris, make sure you either wake up early or stay up late. Crystal version, Paris is 5% all the way around. Chances of running into Zubats, gold and silver versions, 5% morning, afternoon, 25% at night. We ran into our one, and we're not going to be seeing it ever again. Crystal version, you have a good 5% chance morning and afternoon of catching yourself a Pidgey if you really want to go for it. It's level 7, so have at it. Oddishes, 60% only at night. Gold, silver version. Crystal version is only 50%. Crystal version specialties, you can catch a Venonat level 5, 30% at night only. Psyduck level 7, 10% at night only. And a Hoot Hoot level 7, 5% at night only. We brought the Farfetch back in. If you do not look at Farfetch the exact same way I do, then some of the times Farfetch will keep going around in a circle and it will be a pain in the ass to get him. However, since we did get him back in here, we talked to the boss and he gives us HMO1 cut. Now we could move on, however, there's two things that we need to do. For one thing, I need to catch myself a Pokemon that can go through. Originally I wanted to catch Paris, but I kind of killed it in one hit by accident. So instead, off camera, I'm going to be going out and giving myself an Oddish, so I can just slap on cut to it and not have to worry about it. After you get the Farfetch, come back into this little area, talk to the apprentice, and he'll give you a charcoal. That powers up fire-type moves. I'm going to be giving it to my Quilava because obviously it's my fire type and the only one that will be having pretty damn, fire-type moves until pretty damn late into the game where I start slapping on different moves and different Pokemon. Just because a Pokemon is of a certain type, like a fire type or an electric type, doesn't mean that you should only stack on like electric type moves and fire type moves. It is really good to make them well rounded in their attack types and try and get the strongest you can with the best accuracy, in my opinion, onto every single one. And we'll be getting more into that later on when we get to further parts where it actually matters more. Right now, the types that they are basically going to be the best that we're going to get. Up ahead, we see a shrine to the Guardian of to the Guardian of Ilex Forest, which is a Celebi. If you own the Crystal Japanese version of this game, you can go and do an event that gets you a GS ball in order to capture a Celebi, probably one of my all-time favorite legendaries. I really have no idea why. There is a water part up north in the Ilex Forest. Again, because we only have the old rod, all we can get are Magikarps 85% and Poliwags at a 15%, both around level 10, so it's pretty good. There's our first hidden item being a full heal. Now later on we are going to be getting ourselves a move called Headbutt, and I will be teaching it over to Quilava. And what Headbutt does is that it's a move 100%, it has a good power of 70, so it's like a more beefed up style tackle attack, except for it has 100% chance of hitting, whereas tackle only has about a 90 or 95, something around that area. However, also with Headbutt, what you are able to do is you are able to headbutt trees. As you can see, these little sprites of the trees, not the really big ones, but the little ones, you can headbutt these trees, and certain Pokemon can fall out in it. It's a lot like fishing. It's not going to happen every single time, sometimes you have to be a little bit lucky, but it does happen. You can run Caterpies and Weedles, again, gold, silver versions, very high chance, 65% for Caterpie, 65% for Weedle. At basically all times, and all of them are good. And everything that you're going to be headbutting, I'm pretty sure it's this throughout the whole entire area that all of them are going to be level 10 when you headbutt them. It might. When we get to later on areas, you know, I'll discuss if it does or does not change, but in Ilex Forest, all of them are level 10. In Crystal version only, you can get a Hoot Hoot, 50 to 60% chance. To be honest, I don't know why it has different varieties of it, because it doesn't matter whether you do it in the daytime or the nighttime, it works all the same. You can get yourself a Pine Cone, which goes into I believe it's a Fortress, or Fortress, I'm not exactly sure how I pronounce it, but it's a Bug Steel type, only weak to fire. It's a pretty damn good catch, you might want to go get it. 30% chance of it falling out. Metapause and Kakuna is about a good 15% chance on each of them. 15% chance of what we're going to be running into right now is Execute. Execute. If you can really pronounce that, okay? It's Execute. A lot of us just call it Execute, you know, and to be honest, I'm not exactly sure what the really, you know, again, pronunciations, what the fuck, who gives a shit. But again, Execute, 50% chance of getting those to headbutt out of the tree, only in the Gold and Silver version, not in the Crystal version, because instead in the Crystal version, you have a 10% chance of knocking out a Noctowl. There you go. And if you're really lucky, you can headbutt out a Butterfree or a Beedrill, 5% chance there. And basically that's how headbutt works. You know, you just keep headbutting until something pops out, and again, the percentages, if they're in your favor or not, it'll be giving you something that you kind of want. Later on, you can start getting ones such as Pinsir and Heracross, which is a really damn good bug fighting type. Even though there aren't really that many good fighting style moves in this game, it's still good. Toxicity over here, she'll give you a move called Sweet Scent, makes the accuracy of hitting your opponent's Pokemon a lot better, because their evasiveness goes down, because Sweet Scent affects Pokemon in some way. But this is where the first part of this next part ends, and I'll be catching you guys next time for the second part of this, so see you guys then.